The main character has a female neighbor named Renee, and she was older than him. He wanted to become a grown-up man, so he could protect her like a man, and she was looking forward to that day. However, as time passed by, they started to be distant to each other. They were now both in the same school, but that did not help them to become close again. The main character was now a grown-up man, and he wanted to confess his feelings to her. By the way, Renee was his classroom teacher. She pulled out a love letter in front of the class, and this love letter was given by the main character to her a while ago. Then she ripped the love letter in front of the class to show that she doesn't care about the romance genre. That gave the main character plus 10 emotional damage.
Stop it. Get some help.
After that event, he went to the nurse office to rant to the nurse about his terrible experience. The nurse understands that the main character was diagnosed with a broken heart, so she will fix that problem with some pills that can increase your popularity. With that pills, the main character might get successful in his next attempt of confession. The main character did not ask if it was FDA approved, and he immediately intake that tablets, because he don't have trust issues with the nurse. The tablets were very effective, and it have an instant effect of giving him a raging sword. Miss Nurse was curious with that, so she did a medical inspection, and told him that this was a side effect of the supplement he intake. He don't know what to do with his raging sword, so the nurse suggested him to release that build-up stress. The nurse unleashed the raging sword, and she was giving him a helping hand. She was just taking responsibility, because it was her fault in the first place. He wanted to be loyal to his crush, but it seems like his raging sword enjoys some nurse treatment. Anyways, the nurse was sterilizing his sword using the Gulp Gulp 3000 medical procedure, and the main character was very amazed to experience a VIP treatment. He wanted to release all of his massive amount of stress, and the nurse gave him the seal of approval for anytime transaction. Then he gave her a vanilla milkshake, and she was drinking every single drop. He remembered that she was lactose intolerant, so he told her to spit out her drink. However, it was very delicious for her, so she continued drinking. Then she was now craving, and she was making a steamy lake beneath her sacred sanctuary. Eventually, she reached her maximum limit by herself. After that, she noticed that the main character was not yet cured from his raging disease, so she will take care of him until he gets back to default mode. Suddenly, the nurse gave him a special for lovers only feature, and the single community can only imagine that event. Anyways, she was not satisfied by just having a feeding frenzy, so she wanted him to water her flower garden. She asked for permission to ride on the Iron Pegasus, and the main character gave her the driving license. He did not graduate to his crush, but at least, the beautiful and caring nurse is 100 times better. The main character was rating the experience with a 5-star review, and he was about to explode with his colored white emotions. She told him that it was safe today for releasing his emotions, so the main character became the Flash, and gave her his best shot. After that, she asked him about her overall rating. The main character told her that it was the best experience to clap a gorgeous woman like her. He was wondering why she went this far just to test the pills, so the nurse revealed that she was happy to do some vanilla moments with the guy she loves. It turns out, the nurse have feelings for him. The main character was always accompanying her, even though she was a bit of a weird person, and because of that, she develops feelings for him for a while now. That confession activated the power of this man of culture, so he gave her lots of wholesome vanilla moments. Meanwhile, the teacher was walking down the hallway, and noticed a human figure doing a special ritual in the nurse office. She suddenly remembered that the main character became a member of a club made by the nurse. The main character was enjoying his wholesome activity, but it was ended by the female teacher. Luckily, he was able to finish on time by coating the nurse with his pure vanilla milkshake. The teacher was able to caught them red-handed, and for unknown reason, she was calling the main character a liar. She plans on canceling the nurse, and she will report her to the head office. The main character defended the nurse, and he was telling her that the nurse was just giving treatment to his raging sword. Obviously, she did not believe his nonsense. However, the main character continued explaining that it was for research purposes. Anyways, the teacher's decision cannot be changed, and she continued calling him a liar. The main character started his villain arc, and he was now very mad at this teacher for the unfairness and emotional damage he received. He stood up against her, and he will make this teacher believe by applying violence through his legendary sword. The main character used the biological weapon of verbal assault. According to the nurse, the side effect of the pills can make his liquids into a biological warfare to make ladies explode with excitement. His attack was 100% effective, but she won't accept that she was defeated. Aside from that, she was confident, because the main character don't have any proof that she reached her maximum limit. So, the main character proceed with the next procedure, and he will perform a non-stop clapping, until she believes all his logical explanation a while ago. This was just an example of action speaks louder than words, and the main character was using this principle into a real-life application. Meanwhile, the nurse was recording the cultural ritual for documentary purposes. The main character gave his teacher a Big Bang explosion theory of the universe, and after that, she believes his scientific explanation a while ago. However, her decision of canceling the main character and the nurse have not changed. Suddenly, the nurse revealed her findings, and she found out that this teacher was in love with the main character. Miss Teacher will not accept that conclusion, and she continued to deny her feelings, so the nurse suggested that they will make her accept her feelings within 10 days, and if they succeed, the cancellation punishment will be revoked. The teacher won't accept this cultural challenge, because she was a coward. However, the nurse have the Uno reverse card on her phone recording, so the teacher have no choice but to accept the terms and condition. They have some time left, so nurse wanted to start the challenge right away, and the teacher was now ready for their 10 days battle. Their challenge began, and the main character was attacking the teacher with his legendary sword from behind. Miss Teacher was wondering why it feels like she was getting enlightened by the legendary sword. The nurse explained that her body and soul wanted the main character. However, Miss Teacher won't accept that, because she wanted to be a strong independent woman. Meanwhile, the main character continued doing his job, and gave the teacher a bursting milkshake. She was not thankful for that, so the main character gave her a second batch. The nurse was drinking her coffee, and she was saying women. She also realized that they won't be needing 10 days for this challenge, because the teacher was creating a unique facial expression. On day 2, the female teacher woke up while being clapped by the awakened sword. Since it was morning, the main character served her with a warm fresh milk. On day 3, it was the place of doing your private business. Then the main character was privately feeding his teacher with rich in protein meat. Suddenly, there was some people nearby. The teacher wanted to stop her feeding session, because she was afraid of getting caught eating fresh meat. However, the main character doesn't care at all, because he wanted to give her the proper nutrition. Eventually, the main character gave her a vitamin shot. On day 4, they were doing a sightseeing event in the classroom, because it was the perfect place to try some clapping publicity stunt. After that, this teacher was now a submissive crackhead, and she was now willingly eating her daily dose of meat. The nurse noticed the teacher's reaction, so it was now time to level up their gameplay to ensure victory. 3 days left before the challenge ends. During this day at the nurse office, the nurse was riding on the Iron Pegasus. Miss Teacher went into the nurse office, and saw the nurse enjoying her amusement park ride. It seems like the teacher was jealous with that scenario. However, she will continue being jealous, because the nurse will be using the real sword for a while. So, while teacher will be waiting for her turn, the nurse gave her a plastic and fake sword for her solo gaming activity. Then the two riders were watching each other riding on their mode of climax transportation. The main character gave the nurse a bursting vanilla milkshake, while the teacher did not receive anything, because she was using a fake equipment. She was disappointed with that, and she was now craving for the real deal. Anyways, she bring up the topic about the main character and the nurse getting kicked out from the campus. The nurse doesn't care about being reported, because she made up her mind that she will take responsibility of the main character. Then she planned to bring him to her apartment, so they can have a daily clapping activity without interruptions. That is some 10,000 IQ level mindset. Anyways, Miss Teacher doesn't want that to happen, because she wanted her share of vanilla milkshake too. So, she eventually voiced out her true feelings for the main character. It turns out, the reason for her being strict, and destroying his love letter was because she just wanted to follow the campus rules, and respect the boundaries between a student and a teacher. Now that she have admitted her true feelings of love, there was nothing holding her back, and she was willing to make a mini copy of the main character in her belly.
Yeah, boy.
Then they started doing the multiplication ritual, and the main character was giving her the seeds of creation. Couple of months later, the main character was turned into a king, and 2 chicks were serving his weapon at the same time. In addition, he was able to successfully make 2 inflated balloons at the same time. The main character also gained a multitasking skill, and he can now clap twice at the same time, and gave them vanilla milkshake at the same time. This was a very good memory, so the main character took a photo of his 2 wife. That's the end of this cultural anime recap. The start of the story might be harsh, but eventually it turned somehow wholesome. Anyways, here is your research material, and please use it carefully. In addition, don't forget to touch grass to develop some real-life experience. Thank you for watching.